So if you've been watching my vlog, you'll know that this weekend, before I went down to the Balloon Festival in Foley, I was waiting on a package from Canon. Well, this is what I was waiting on. It's the Canon 1.4 Mark III extender. Now, there's two different types of this. There's the 1.4, which is this one here, and there's a 2.0. As the name suggests, this will extend your focal length by 1.4 times, and the 2.0 version will extend your focal length by double. So let's do a quick 5-minute review of the 1.4 extender and see if it's actually any good. Now, both the 1.4 and the 2.0 extenders only work with certain Canon lenses. They've got to be L lenses. Usually they're called the big whites because they're white in colour. It doesn't work with all L lenses. So if you're thinking about getting one, check with the Canon website to see if the lens that you want to put it on is actually supported. Today I'll be testing it out on these two lenses. This is a 100 to 400 Mark II lens. This is the 70 to 200 Mark II lens. Both L lenses, both, as you can see, big white. Now, another thing to bear in mind with extenders is, with this one, the 1.4, you lose one stop of light. With the 2.0, you lose 2 stops of light. Now, what does that mean? Well, this lens, the 70 to 200, is an f2.8. So wide open aperture, this is an f2.8 lens. When I add this, I'm going to lose one stop of light, which will take it down to an f4 lens. This is the 100 to 400 Mark II lens. This is a variable aperture lens. It goes from 4.5 up to f5.6. Now when I add this, at the long end, this will drop down to an f8 lens. Now that's something very important to bear in mind. The newer cameras, like this one, the 1DX Mark II, all focus points will focus at f8. However, if you have an older camera, like 5D Mark III or the 1DX, the original 1DX, you will only get center point focusing at f8. Not all focus points focus at f8. So let's attach this to the 70 to 200 and give it a shot. See what happens. So here we are, it's attached. Let's give it a try out. A couple of things I'm looking for. One is autofocus speed. Does it still focus as fast with the extender on as it does when the extender is not there? And number 2 is image quality. Now for these comparisons, I'm just doing a quick 5-minute test of my back deck. We've now got it fitted to the 1-400. Let's give this one a shot and see how it goes. So we've done a quick test with the 1.4 extender on. Let's do the exact same shots with the 1.4 extender off. Throw them into Lightroom and do a comparison there. So here we are. We've now loaded pictures into Lightroom. Let's go have a look. Move over to the develop module. Now this first one, as you can see, was taken with the 70 to 200 plus the extender. We're now at f4 rather than f2.8, but as you can see, even although it's a 70 to 200, it's actually taken at 280 mil, 1.4 times 200. And to be honest, going into a 1:1, as you can see up here, we're on a 1:1. This is sharp. Let's look at edge. Edge focus is always a consideration. Now that might just be out of focus there. These still seem sharp. The branch. I'm impressed. Nice sharpness. Now this is at the low end, the 70mm end. As you can see, 98mm with the 1.4 extender. Same at f4, ISO 100. Now, the 70-200 Canon L lens is notorious for being sharp anyway. Where are we? I think I was focusing in here. And on the edges, this is still nice and sharp. Nice and sharp, lots of details. Now these pictures haven't been touched up. These are the straight raw file straight out the camera. Move on to the next one. This is the 100-400. As you can see, it's registering the 1.4 extender. This is at the low end, 560. Focused in on this here. That's nice, there's lots of detail. Just take it out and then focus in on the corners. Still in focus. Well, the focal plane, we're actually at f8. So even although I'm at the low end, f4.5, with the 1.4, the minimum aperture on this is f8. Sorry, it was at the maximum aperture. I'm actually at 560mm here. Nice and sharp. This is the minimum. So we're down to 140mm, f6.3 with the 1.4 extender. That makes a bit more sense. Again, focused in here. Nice and sharp. Nice colors. Go down to the edges. Still lots of detail, still sharp. So the extender doesn't soften your pictures that much, which I'm really surprised at. I've read reports that it did. So this is without the extender. 400mm f5.6. We were focused, I can't remember, I think it was in on this one. Nope. We're focused in here. Sharp, take it down to the corners. Sharp, detail. There's more bokeh in the background. That's because we're down at f5.6 and not f8. Still nice and sharp there. This is the 100mm end of the 100-400. Sharp, we're at f4.5. So nice blur background, nice bokeh in the background. More in the focal plane, so there's more in focus. This is the 70-200 at 200. Now for a direct comparison, I left this at f4. Even although I didn't have the extender on, rather than taking it down to 2.8, I wanted a direct comparison. So this is the 70-200 at f4. Lovely and sharp. Now compare it with this one. f4 with the extender. Losing a little bit in the shadows. Not really that much. Nice. This extender works real well. And then the 70-200 at the 70 end. Again, I left it at f4 for a direct comparison. And as I said, this lens is notoriously sharp. Edge to edge sharpness on this lens. Great lens. Let's compare it with the 98mm will fit. What was I on there? Okay, so f4, nice and sharp. 70mm, nice and sharp. So the extender does its job. It gives you a 1.4 range extension on your lens if your lens actually fits. Remember, there's limited lenses that will work with this. You do lose one stop of light, but you gain the extra reach and everything is still sharp. It doesn't soften the edges noticeably at all. Great job, Canon. So what's our conclusions from this? Well, the extender works excellently. You don't lose any sharpness, or at least not noticeable sharpness. The problem with it is it's an expensive addition. Brand new, it costs $430. However, if you need the extra reach and you've got a lens that fits it, this is highly recommended. There is a rumour that Canon will be coming out with a 200-600 lens, but right now that's a rumour. They're talking about some point in 2018, if at all. The only other option that you've got right now is to buy something like the Canon EF600 lens, which is going to set you back about $11,000. Or your alternative is to go for Sigmas. Sigma 150-600. There's a Sigma 50-500 that I have. I like Sigma lenses, however, the newer generation cameras don't accept older Sigma lenses, whereas if you stick with Canon branded lenses, Canon EOS lenses, they're guaranteed to work. Thank you, Canon, for letting me borrow this and test this out. I'm actually going to be ordering one for myself. This will come in very handy for air shows and also wildlife photography. You don't lose that much light, especially when you pair it with the 70-200. However, even the 100-400, leaving it at f8 because the 1DX2 and other modern Canon cameras can focus all focus points at f8. I don't see the problem with this. Recommended. I'm buying one.